Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Moneo R. For those who don't know me, if you've been here before, thank you for stopping back by, and if it's your first time joining us, please hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you this side. Let's get into the video. So as you can see by the title of the video, I will be married for exactly 1 year on the 23rd of March. So next weekend on Sunday, it will be 1 year officially married. I can't believe it. I honestly cannot believe it. Like, if you told me 4 years ago that I would be married and staying with a man, having a husband, I would have been like to you, you are lying. I wouldn't have even believed any of that. So it's amazing how far we've come. If you don't know, my husband and I will be celebrating 4 years together at the end of October this year. And now in March, we are celebrating 1 year of being married. I know some of you will be like, married, we didn't see a wedding. Yes, we are married customarily, meaning that he came home, he paid lobola and all of that stuff. So customarily we are married, but we haven't had any of our ceremonies or our wedding. So we haven't like registered our marriage as a civil union, but customarily according to the South African law, it is recognized as a marriage. Okay, just to get that out of the way. Hey, I don't want to talk much about marriage, but I want to talk more about being a wife. So I want to talk about my side of things. Okay. So I will ask myself questions and answer them. Was I ready to be a wife by the time my husband proposed? Did I know if I was ready? That's one question I always get asked, especially on my TikTok lives. And I would say yes, I knew I was ready, mainly because my husband and I, we knew from day one that it was going to end here. You know how they like saying it's gonna end in? We knew that it was going to end in marriage from day one. So even when we would talk, like our conversations would be more leaning towards the future. You understand? We would speak as people who are planning towards something. We wouldn't just speak things on the surface, as in like we're just trying to get to know each other for the now. It was more digging deeper into what would you like the future to look like together. So I'd say yes, I knew. So I was already prepared that I am going to be this person's wife. How am I finding being a wife? I'm not laughing, I'm just chuckling. I am finding being a wife interesting. It is a very interesting dynamic. You know, I used to think that being a girlfriend and being a wife is the same thing. I always had this thing in my mind when people say to you, oh, it's not the same thing, relationships and dynamics change once you get married. I'd be like, what are you talking about? Why should it change? It should stay the same, right? But I understand that most people say that in the negative sense. They want to like make you think that your relationship would change in the negative sense. But I will say that things have changed, yes, but they have changed in a more positive sense. I don't know about you if you are married, but for me, I feel more secure in my relationship now that we are husband and wife. Not that I wasn't secure in my relationship when we were dating, but there's just this level of security that comes with knowing that I am this person's wife and this person puts me first. You understand? And another thing that I'm really enjoying is being able to walk into my parents' house with my husband and not feel like, oh my gosh, I brought a boy home. You understand? I sit with my parents in the same sitting room with my husband there. We share a meal together and it feels good. It feels good to be able to walk in home with your partner and be respected as a husband and a wife. And I feel like also there's a certain level of acknowledgement and respect that you also get from people when you guys are married, as opposed to when you are just life partners or when you are dating. That's what I feel. Like, I'm not saying it's like that for everybody, but that's what I feel on my side. Would I recommend getting married young? I really don't know what is getting married young, because I got married at the age of 27. It was in March last year. I turned 28 in October, so I was still 27 when I got married. Do you guys consider that as being married young, or that is the right age? Because I feel like after 25, honestly speaking, you can get married because scientifically your frontal lobe has developed. You are a fully grown adult, so why wouldn't you get married? I don't think I would have gotten married anything below 25, honestly speaking. I don't think I was mature enough, and I don't think I would have liked to be married that young. I feel like I wanted to enjoy being a child, being in my early 20s, and just being wild. And after I turned 25, honestly speaking, there's something in me that just didn't want to be wild anymore. Like, even the going out, the partying, the being out there, like, socially that much, I was not really interested in what was going on in the streets that much. So I knew after 25 that, you know what, if settling down comes for me, I will definitely settle down. So if 27 is being married young, then I would say anything after 25, for me, you can get married. Before 25, I mean, if it works for you, you can get married before 25. But I personally would not have gotten married before 25. If I had met my boyfriend, husband now, before 25 and he wanted to marry me, I probably would have asked him, can we please wait a little bit? But luckily for me, I met him just before my 25th birthday, so I guess it worked out for me. Do I enjoy staying with a male in the house? My goodness, it is a bit of a shock staying with a male. And I'll say this because I've stayed with my sister, my older sister, the one that I come after the second born, and then I also stayed with my sisters, my two older sisters, at some point, but it was only for a year. But I've stayed with my sister like primarily for a longer period of time. And staying with my husband is really not that different from staying with my sister. They have sort of like the same type of personality traits and all of that, so it's not really a huge shift. But I do see some mannerisms in the way that men carry themselves, and they use their space, as opposed to how women carry themselves and how they use their space. And that has been a little bit of a shock for me. That's why I said it's a bit of a shock. Like, men have this thing of their presence is felt in a household, you understand? Like, you can walk into a household where women stay and it can look like it's not lived in. You understand? It's all put together. We have this thing of aesthetics and all of that stuff, and men don't care about aesthetics, honestly speaking. Like, my husband, for instance, I can decide that I'm going for a green color scheme, and he'll come put something blue. And to him, it's not a big deal. Like, why are you so riled up by the fact that I came and I put my blue blanket on your green color scheme? It's just a blanket. It belongs there, you understand? They don't have this whole thing of things should be aesthetically pleasing. The house should look like it's not lived in. No, it's my space and I should use it to the fullest capacity. That's how men are, and that's why I'm saying it's a bit of a shock for me staying with a man, because wow, yeah, my aesthetics get thrown out of the room. But it's very nice because you get to understand another person and also be accommodating in the space, and yeah, just have their input as to how they want things to look and if they are comfortable with a certain color scheme and all of that. So yeah, it's the days of being very, very girly in your space, they are kind of over, because you need to accommodate the masculine energy as well in the house. Am I enjoying being married? I don't know if this is a question that anyone would ask someone who's been married for 1 year. Like, am I even qualified to answer such questions or to give advice? But I would say that I am enjoying being married. What I like about it is that, when I leave the office from work and I'm getting into my car, I drive with that excitement of I am going home to somebody. There's someone home waiting for me. When I cook meals, there's this excitement of I'm not just cooking for myself. Eating alone, guys, is boring. I'm not just cooking for myself. I'm actually cooking so that I can sit down and enjoy a meal with my husband, have a conversation, share the meal together, have laughter and all of that stuff. So there's this sort of like excitement and enjoyment in doing things, in even doing chores, like when I'm cleaning up, when I'm doing the laundry. Those acts of service, I'm doing it for my husband. I'm making sure that my husband looks clean, he looks nice when he goes to work. I'm cleaning up our space so that when he comes back from work, from a long shift, he's tired. He comes in, the house smells good, it is clean, there's aromas of food, oh, the laundry is done. Things like that. I enjoy doing all of those things, like serving my husband. I really, really enjoy that. And I really look forward to doing all of those things because I know that there's somebody who's going to enjoy them and somebody who's going to appreciate them, as opposed to me just doing all of that for myself. Because am I really going to enjoy and appreciate the things that I've done for myself? Like, after I've cooked, when I eat, I don't enjoy it as much as someone who's being served the plate and they eat and they're like, wow, the meal is so nice. And getting the feedback, man, getting the feedback from my husband is just like, thank you for the meal, it was nice, or thank you so much for making sure that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 was done in the house. I was able to wear this and that to the office today because it was cleaned, it was washed. I really like serving my husband. What is the one thing that has been hard for you to navigate as a wife? I would say for me, honestly speaking, is just understanding another person. What I mean about that is, when you are dating, right? You visit your partner, they visit you. When you have a visitor, there's a certain way you carry yourself. When I know that I have a visitor, I prepare my mind, I prepare my space, right, for that visitor. So now that we stay together full time and we're no longer visiting each other, there are certain character traits and certain mannerisms that you get to see in your partner that you didn't necessarily see before because you were visiting them. When you visit them, they were preparing for you, making sure that their mindset is there to accommodate you, their space is put together in a certain way to accommodate you. What do I wish I knew before I got married? I wish I knew how nice it would be so that I could have done it sooner. I'm joking, but honestly speaking, it has been nice. I know that they say that the first year of marriage is testing. And I feel like to a certain extent, I do believe that the first year of marriage is testing, especially if you are a couple that has never stayed together before. I was saying that the other thing I wish I knew is that you do not clock off as a wife. Like, your mind is always thinking about the next thing. Whether I'm sleeping, whether I'm bathing, whether I'm eating, whether I'm drinking, I am always thinking about the next thing. What is the next meal? Oh, I should change the bed sheets. Oh, I should clean the house. Oh, my husband needs this. And I feel like this probably is the same for him as well. Obviously, I'm speaking from my perspective. And you're not clocking off because someone is asking you not to clock off. No. Your mind just instantly becomes wired that way the moment you get married. It's like it's not about me only. I'm also responsible for another human being in a sense. I know some people will be like, no, why would you say you're responsible for an adult? Yes, in a sense, you are responsible for the other human being and vice versa. Because in a relationship is a mutually beneficial thing, and there are things that I take from him, there are things that he takes from me. And this brings me back to my next point, that it is very, very important to understand what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses in a relationship, and find somebody who balances your weaknesses. They should have strengths that are opposite to your weaknesses, and if you have strengths that are opposite to their weaknesses, it's even better, because then that's how you become sort of like equally yoked. Do I regret being married young, and do I feel like I should have waited longer? Honestly speaking, I do not regret being married at the age that I was married at. I feel like I was ready, I was prepared, and there was nothing more in the streets. As someone who has dated, I don't know, maybe someone who has not dated, they would be like, oh my gosh, no, I'm not gonna give myself to a marriage at the age of 27. That is crazy. But as someone who has dated, no, there's nothing in the streets. Like, and when you have found your person, why would you not want to enjoy a marriage, and like how fulfilling it is being in a partnership with somebody who loves you and understands you? And why would you not want to also pour into another person? So no, I have zero regrets about being married. Just that sometimes I do get shocked about the amount of responsibility and the amount of adult things that I need to make choices on, and I'm just like, I'm just a girl. Like, it's like I forget sometimes that, hey girl, you are an adult now, you need to make decisions, you need to plan for the future. It's no longer just about floating with the wind, going with the flow, seeing what tomorrow brings. No, there's planning, discussions, communication. So yeah, that's the only thing I would say that it shocks me sometimes. I'll sit down and I'll be like, whoa, you are speaking adult things. You understand? But other than that, no, I have zero regrets. What are the things that you think you can do differently going forward as a wife? For me, I think what I will do differently is recognize areas where I can be selfish. Isn't it, we spoke about selflessness before, but I feel like there are areas where I can be selfish. And if that selfishness does not negatively impact my husband or negatively impact my relationship, then it is something I can look into. Let me make an example so you understand. I work shifts, so I don't really have that much time to sit and clean and do all of that stuff. So I feel like going forward, I am going to get a helper who is going to come at least once or twice a week just to clean up and help me keep the house together, so that I'm also a much happier wife. I'm not stressed out and I'm not anxious that, oh, so many things I need, there's so many things I need to do and so many things are heavy on my shoulder. So I feel like that is a good type of selfishness, because it also then positively impacts my relationship. Because if I'm not stressed and if I don't have too much on my plate, I can then be a much more pleasant person, a much more pleasant wife, and have more time for my husband. Another thing that I have started practicing as of late is making sure that I am very good with my time management to help me also be a better partner. So if I can do something the night before in order for us to have more time together the following day, I'll do that. If I can cook earlier in order for my husband to arrive home and find the meals already cooked, as opposed to me cooking once he's already here, I'll do that, because I really, really value the time that we have together, where we sit down and share a meal, share a conversation. Especially as someone who works shifts and is hardly home. Sometimes I'm at the office at night, sometimes I knock off late. Wherever I can make more time for my relationship and for my partner, I will be doing that going forward. What would I rate marriage from a scale of 1 to 10? Oh my goodness. I don't think I'm qualified to rate marriage from a scale of 1 to 10 because I've only been married for a year. But I don't know. I'll say a 10. It's a 10 out of 10. I know you guys are going to be like, no, you were lying. It can't be a 10 out of 10. You know what? I'm going to be honest. Yes, there are times where we disagree. There are times when we don't see eye to eye. But there's never been a moment for me where we have a disagreement. I don't want to say argument because I don't think my husband and I argue. We disagree. Where we have a disagreement and something in the back of my mind says, this is not working for me. I want out. I've never had that moment. When those kind of moments happen where we have disagreements, in my mind, what always plays is this will pass, we will work through it. So that's why I'm saying it's a 10. So I feel like the moment it becomes, no, this is not working for me, I want out, that's when maybe the scales will go down. But for now, that's why I'm saying it's a 10 out of 10. I am genuinely enjoying being married, and I'm looking forward to the second year, the fourth, the fifth, the 10th, the 20th, the forever, you understand, and getting to know my husband better, growing together and all of that. And another thing about getting married young, as you guys say, is that you guys get to grow with each other. You know, you get to experience a lot of being matured adults together. Like, I look at our videos and pictures of when we started dating, which is like 3.5 years ago, almost 4, and I'm like, these people look like completely different people. The way we spoke, the way we were, it was very different. And looking at how we are now and how we have matured and how we have grown, I can just only imagine how much better we'll become with each and every single year being together. Yeah, so that's it for my 1-year wife check-in. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do comment down below. If you are a wifey, tell us what you have been enjoying and what you have not been enjoying about being a wife, and if you are enjoying being married in general, on the comment section down below. If you have any questions, do leave them down below and I will be glad to have a discussion with you on the comment section. And in next week's video, we'll have my husband here with us so we can record a 1 year of marriage check-in. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on my next one. Bye.